Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are FC.
Royals baseball from Kauffman Stadium. The Tigers took game one from the Royals last night, hitting 6 home runs and winning 10-4. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and we know the Tigers can hit, and that was quite an extreme last night on a hot night, but the Tigers can also pitch.
They sure can, Ryan, with the newly acquired Zimmerman starting that rotation off, and he's been really dazzling. Verlander, we saw him for the first time last night. Man, is he a pitcher with 95 and 96 miles an hour. He's not throwing 100 anymore, but he don't need it. This kid Fulmer, wow, a rookie they got in the trade for Cespedes. He's done a marvelous job. I can't wait to watch this young man execute. He attacks. They're going to be good.
Yeah, it should be a fun matchup because Yordano Ventura pitched so well in his last start. Fulmer has had 4 straight scoreless starts.
Yeah, you know what, Ryan, this kid, he's interesting, his angle. And this kid Fulmer right here, angle is great down. He's tough. He bores in. He challenges hitters. Yordano, a little bit more finesse, but same type of power fastball. Should be great. I'm really excited about watching tonight's game.
All right, Yordano Ventura, our most trusted player. Yordano Ventura has never lost to the Detroit Tigers.
He looks marvelous, especially in his last start, Ryan. He showed more poise than I've ever seen him in his time here in a Royals uniform. It's been fun to see this kid emerge and mature as he goes along. Keep your composure, execute your pitches, and bring in more secondary pitches that he's very comfortable with.
So the Tigers have seen Yordano Ventura 7 times. The Royals have never seen Michael Fulmer.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Swing and a miss.
Oh my goodness.
Swing and a miss. 95 at the belt. See you later.
And one of the hottest things going right now on the mound in the major leagues is the Tigers' Michael Fulmer. He has allowed 1 earned run in his in the 3rd innings.
This kid is great, Rhino, so far early in his career. I haven't seen numbers like that from a young pitcher in the big leagues in a long time. He's a big country boy, has a big fastball. You mentioned the weather, 95 and upper 90s. That's what this kid throws. He challenges hitters with that. He won't back down. He's fearless.
He'll be going up against Yordano Ventura, and when we come back, Jeff Montgomery will talk about Ventura's mechanics. Got him again. Got him looking this time. Change up.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Those home uniforms with the World Championship gold trim. Just about 7 minutes until first pitch here at Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, and Yordano Ventura set to make his 14th start of the year. Monty in his last 2 starts. We've seen very bad and very good. Break down the 2 Yordano Venturas.
Yeah, I think the real key, first we're going to take a look at some of his bad mechanics where you're going to see he almost comes flying open, he gets out of control, and the results are not good, and kind of going toward that first base side. Ball gets up, hitters let him know that, and I think that's one thing I'll look for tonight. Find a way for him to keep things under control. When he's under control, he's much better. Here, he's not. So we're going to take a look at some of the good mechanics. Last Sunday in Chicago, stayed on line with the target. He was down in the strike zone, and he was effortless. He's out there really kind of letting things happen, not trying to force it with his mechanics. Ned Jost liked what he saw. In fact, he told Ned, and Ned told him, do your homework. Watch every pitch you threw on video. You did a great job.
And he was so much more composed. So hopefully no brawls or anything like that. We did have one brawl today with these guys. More coming up next. for Children's Mercy Hospital. They've raised millions over the years. The softball game, there was some good, there was some bad, there was fighting. Look at Stone Street with the fake punch there. Saberhagen throwing water. Sabres had the game-winning hit. Paul Rudd's Blue Team won. We'll visit with those guys coming up in the third inning, but first pitch is next.
Ball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. 91 degrees with the heat index. It feels like 99. So we've had 97, 93, and 91 for a first pitch temperature over the last 3 games. Yordano Ventura will take the mound. He is 3-0 at Kauffman Stadium this year. The Royals are 5-0 in his starts. And if you go back to last year, the Royals have won 6 straight and 11 of his last 12 at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, and he's not the only one who likes performing here in front of this great crowd. The rest of his teammates do, and that 22-8 record speaks for itself at home.
Tigers lineup. They had a season high 6 home runs last night. We were talking to Dan Dickerson, the radio voice of the Tigers, and he reminded us that the Tigers had hit 6 home runs total in their previous 15 games here at Kauffman Stadium.
Well, you hate to get the opponents going, but that's kind of what they did last night. They beat up on everyone, starters and bullpen. But that's all gone. It's a new game here, and Yordano, if he can execute his 3 excellent pitches, he should hold them down. He's got the ability. Power fastball, averages 95 miles an hour. Curveball, changeup, just 3 pitches. Similar to their pitcher too. So we got a couple of young guns tonight. It's going to be a great matchup. And if they're on and they're hitting their spots, it should be a low scoring game. Even with the humidity, the way the ball carries.
Close, but ruled outside by home plate umpire Will Little. 3-1 on Ian Kinsler, who was 1 for 5 with an RBI last night. Full count.
Kinsler, he's a turn and burn type of player this year for sure. In the past he's used the whole field, but this year he seems to be muscling up and trying to hit those home runs. 14 homers already this year. That's what he's looking for here. Nice numbers against Ventura.
Right field and right at Paulo Orlando. So a good break, a line drive to right to begin the game.
Which is tough right now this time of the night with the sun out there. Paulo stayed with that ball well. Defensively, how about this? They had sponsored by Ford. You can't steal on him. It's very difficult. He's got a quick move. His feet are quick, and he throws about 90 over there to Hosmer. And when he's accurate with the throw, if any guy gets a lead, he picks him off. He's very good at controlling the running game.
High and tight to Jose Iglesias. Iglesias had 2 hits last night and a run scored, and has the longest current hitting streak in the big leagues, 14 straight.
He's been using the whole field during his little streak. And I was going to say, it doesn't hurt when it comes to the running game that he's got a catcher in Salvador Perez who's thrown out 46.7% of runners. They won't be running.
3 balls and no strikes. Is it just me, or am I noticing a deliberately low target on every pitch from Salvador Perez?
Nope, you can tell. As big as Salvi is, he really accentuates the low part of the strike zone. It helps with the visual for the pitcher. We noticed it last year when Johnny Cueto was pitching. And he was having all of his difficulties, Cueto, with being up in the zone and getting hit around. He lost like 4 straight starts. So Salvi, they got together, and Salvi was almost on his knees, just buried, you know, just getting way down low. Another ball to Paulo.
2 down. Just seems like Salvi's really emphasizing, accentuating a lower target for Ventura. Now Ventura hasn't hit that target yet. He's throwing strikes, but fastballs have been above the target, but he's really getting that glove down there, which is a good idea based on what the Tigers did last night.
But you know, it's up to Ventura just to be free and easy. Not think too much out there, just stay within his mechanics. I thought Jeff Montgomery did a great job of breaking Ventura down in our pregame show today before the game about how his shoulder flies open when he gets in trouble. And when he's not, he's doing that. He's north and south and staying down through the zone.
Up the middle. Witt. Well, he got his glove on it. That'll be an infield single for Miguel Cabrera. And he's at first base with 2 down. And now Victor Martinez. He had half of the Tigers' 6 home runs last night. Our Kubota power stats. It's the second time he's hit 3 home runs in a game, but you got to go back 12 years for the first time. Second oldest Tiger to Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb was 38. Victor Martinez is 37.
Wow. Well, I don't know if he can put him in Ty Cobb's category. This guy is one of the greatest switch hitters in this era for sure. How many games did he set out before he stepped up there and ambushed Duffy's first fastball?
He hadn't started since Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. He had several days off. Talk about timing. He don't need it. He's a natural.
Ventura started with 14 straight fastballs and then threw a breaking ball for ball 1 to Victor Martinez. And then another breaking ball.
Salvi having fun with Miguel. He knows he's not going anywhere, but Salvi pounced out of there like he's like Cabrera's a 30 steal guy. It's beautiful. There's that pitch break down there. Ventura, he's with that fastball. Typically guys throw 70% of those, but he has confidence in his curve and changeup, and when he has those other pitches, those secondary pitches working, he's tough to square up.
.98 over the outside. 2-1 on Victor Martinez. Put those numbers together and he's hitting .338, which is 4th in the American League.
If he had young knees, what kind of numbers would he put up then? He's been struggling the last couple of seasons with his health.
Escobar backhands, jump, throw, plenty of time with those old knees. And Ventura, with mostly his fastball, almost primarily his fastball, holds the Tigers scoreless in the top of the first.
Nice play. Eske would have helped him out there.
Bottom of the first inning. Royals scored 4 runs last night. That's usually a magic number for them. They are almost unbeatable with 4 or more runs, but the Tigers scored 10. So the same lineup tonight. A little change in the batting order with Cuthbert and Eibner flip-flopping at the bottom, but that's it. All to see Michael Fulmer, 7-1 in 9 starts for the Tigers.
This young man, he believes in himself. You see that .212 average of the opponents for a rookie first time through. Usually you get touched up a little bit. You can see him. He's got some deception in his delivery, and he, like Ventura, has 3 pitches that he uses. His fastball, slider, and a changeup. His fastballs got some good hop. He's got a good arm angle. He actually has downhill action. If you'll watch him, he's got a downhill angle, makes it tougher for hitters to square up.
Merrifield was 1 for 5 with a run scored, and that was in the first inning last night. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Michael Fulmer is 23 years old. He is from Edmond, Oklahoma, which is about 340 miles southwest of KC. He is out of the Mets organization and traded to the Tigers last year for Yoenis Cespedes. So if the Mets weren't already loaded with young pitching, they also had Michael Fulmer in their system.
Yeah, that's incredible when you think about that rotation of the Mets, and this kid was available. And you know, you got to credit the Detroit Tigers for consummating a deal with this kid in it. He's made a difference. What's impressive about him is just 19 walks in 53 2/3 innings. He's got great command for a young guy. Got a great idea. You can see he's staying away from Merrifield.
Apparently the Mets really wanted Yoenis Cespedes, so they called Dave Dombrowski, who was the president, now at the Red Sox. We want Yoenis Cespedes. Okay, we want Michael Fulmer. Sorry. 2 weeks later, hey, we really want Cespedes. Well, we want Fulmer. Sorry. And then on the day of, finally the Mets gave in, and the Tigers got themselves an ace-like pitcher for Cespedes. Close, but out. Iglesias, who has only made 2 errors all year at shortstop, gets Merrifield to begin the bottom of the first.
Great hustle by Whitley. But you watch Iglesias. He makes up with it with a quick release. Tigers defensively, they've got a new player, Steven Moya. He's got a good arm, They got Romine out in center field. This guy plays center field. They got a lot of trust in him. There's the young future star. Tigers' hope.
Sunglasses on for a night game. Moya out in right field. Romine from the sunlight into the shadows takes care of Alcides Escobar. 2 down in the bottom of the first.
Watch Iglesias on this play. It was a tough play by a guy who hustles, but watch how quickly he gets rid of the ball. He's not loading up his throw. Watch him. It's all about just the transfer and getting the ball out of his glove and quickly tossing it over there to first base. This guy's a very slick fielding shortstop.
2 outs to Eric Hosmer. Takes a wicked hack at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Hosmer drove in one of the 2 runs in the Royals' first inning last night and finished the night 0 for 3. Drove in his run with a ground out. 1-1.
Fulmer's a big old country boy. You said he's from Oklahoma, and his mentality is, here it is. I'm going to challenge you. Hit it. And he's mixed in a changeup. Now for a few years in the minor leagues, he only had 2 pitches. He had his fastball and his slider working. He didn't have a third pitch. But in the offseason, he worked with his pitching coach. He worked with McCann, the catcher, and they said, you've got to stay with the changeup. If you're going to be a successful starter, you've got to have 3 pitches at least to go with that explosive fastball and your slider. So now he's brought in his changeup, and it's been very effective for him early. Now he got lit up a little bit his first few starts.
One hop. Castellanos, Hosmer's former high school teammate, throws him out, and with that, Michael Fulmer has a Tiger record. 29 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings for a rookie pitcher. Tonight, that guy's got to figure it out. That's a cup of ice water circuited through a little fan.
That's a beautiful thing. Wake him up. Yordano's back on the hill. All right, he's back.
Nick Castellanos, Justin Upton, and Steven Moya coming up for the Tigers. Ventura allowed an infield single to Miguel Cabrera in a scoreless first inning. Castellanos hit one of the 6 home runs last night. His home run came in the 4th inning, his 13th of the year. That is getting fooled by a pitch.
Yep. That's a hitter setting dead red on 98, and then when you put a wrinkle on it, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you would need a boat oar to hit that.
It looked like a guy who was blindfolded, just trying to guess where the pitch was going to be. Strike 3. Well, Castellanos argues the limits of the strike zone, but it's hard to argue after the pitch that he chased before that one.
That's right. I'll tell you what, that's right where Ventura wants to execute his pitch. Will Little rung him up.
And that was the key pitch for him on Sunday in Chicago when Ventura struck out 10. 8 of the 10 strikeouts were with the curveball. Fastball strike 1 to Justin Upton.
And when he gets that command with that pitch, he can be very dangerous. He'll start hitters off with it second time through the order, and then he'll use his changeup to mix in. Then he'll use the fastball. So he's getting them thinking fastball early, throwing mainly fastballs his first time through. First time through, opponents have hit 320 off of him this year, with 10 extra base hits. After that, they're just hitting 210. So the first time through the orders where he's really got to execute.
If he was aiming for the Papa John's sign, it was right down the middle.
Yep. Just missed.
Back with a curveball to strike out Upton. Back-to-back strikeouts with that pitch. 2 down.
It not only disrupts the timing, but it's such a tough angle to square up when it's breaking straight down. They call that 12-6 on the clock.
That's off of Escobar, and that'll be an infield base hit for Steven Moya. Just called up with JD Martinez going on the disabled list.
Little too hot to handle for Esky. Moya gets those long arms out, gets extended. The ball came up on him. He got him in his heel. If he catches it in his webbing, he's got him out. So if you're wondering, see Haas 6'4". This guy Moya, he's 6'6". 6'6", 230 pounds. That young player out there. He's making Hosmer look small.
And now James McCann. He checked in last night at 188, and he walked twice. He hit a home run, and he had a sacrifice fly. One ball and one strike.
McCann not hitting much for an average so far this year. He's under 200. 4 homers. But he's a heck of a backstop. Good signal caller. He'll hit as he emerges and he gets a little more experience under him, but we know he can throw. He's got a McCann.
You like that line, don't you? It's a good one.
But I like the kid. He's very personable. You can approach him. You can talk to him. He gives you what you need. It's not necessarily going to give you what you want, because you know you can't divulge game plans or anything like that. But he's a well-spoken young man. Good spot.
You got to give that line to Rod Allen, Tigers announcer.
Heck, we talked about it. I saw him after the game. He laughed.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steven Moya.
Look at how tall he is.
6'6", 230 pounds.
How about him? Well, you know, the issues he'll have is with those long arms and legs. He's going to have to shorten up his swing.
Paulo didn't take the best route, but with his speed, he was able to make up for it and run down the drive from McCann. So Ventura has given up a pair of infield singles in 2 scoreless innings. Michael Fulmer got the Royals in order in the bottom of the first. Our Toyota League leaders, Michael Fulmer and Steven Matz, who still qualifies as a rookie even though he pitched in the World Series last year, tied for the lead for wins amongst rookies, and they could be teammates as Fulmer is from the Mets organization. And speaking of rookies, Michael Fulmer, after getting the Royals scoreless in the first inning, now has the Tigers rookie record for consecutive scoreless innings, passing John Hiller in 1967, who had gone 28 2/3 innings. Changeup, Kane's out in front, 1 ball, 1 strike. Grounded to third. Castellanos is there, and there's 1 down. Wildcat fans, you can show your school pride. Next Friday, it's K-State night. The first 4,000 fans who bring their K-State night themed ticket to the designated table will receive the special edition gray and purple branded KC cap, which includes the Power Cat logo, courtesy of Fox Sports Kansas City and Rally House. Salvador Perez takes a strike. He was 1 for 3 last night.
Going to be difficult for the Royals offense to be able to get something together with this guy unless they get that frenzy hitting going. You know, they start feeding off of one another. But somebody's going to have to crack him. They've never faced him before. But they did do a lot of watching in the video room. They were checking Fulmer out today. They were watching him. They were watching all of his pitches. They weren't just watching 2 or 3 pitches. They were all studying him.
Going to have to lay off pitches like that. McCann to the screen, and it's back into the second row.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything off of that. With this young man's late life to his fastball, his 4-seamer, it's some boring action into lefties and away to righties. He's got a little cut action to his slider. I mean, it looks like a cutter at times, and sometimes when he takes more off, it has a downward break. one of the reasons why he's been so difficult to square up. Late life and a great arm angle.
High fastball is fouled back, still 1-2.
But the Royals know the young man's reputation, Michael Fulmer. He likes to challenge hitters. Hitters love a challenge, especially with a big fastball. They're saying, all right, I'm going to man up and get you. Oh, really? Let's see what you can hit here. I mean, it's good old-fashioned country hardball, this young man right here.
And a pitcher that throws a lot of strikes can have trouble with the Royals because they're not up there to take. They're ready to swing on every pitch. It's very rare when you're going to surprise the Royals with a strike. So he's going to have to make pitches like that out of the strike zone. That's his first strikeout.
All sets up with that fastball, and then just like Yordano's doing. Okay, first 4 starts. Look at him. That's typical for a rookie. 6.52. No panic. They stayed with him, and then he figured it out and said, you know what? I'm a guy. I'm a man. I'm going to stand up there with my fastball. I can do much better than this. No one's going to hit me from here on out. So he gained some courage. You know, and he's been riding the wave right now. He'll come back to earth. Some teams will get him. He's not going to go unscathed. No one does in this game. He's going to eat a piece of humble pie. But to this point, he's been rocking. Now look at no ship from Morales. This is unusual. Morales immediately takes advantage of it and says thank you. The way teams have been playing him, that's a 4-3 out.
It's a 6-game hitting streak for Morales. Now he hasn't been red hot during that stretch. He's only had 1 hit per game in the first 5, but getting hits, getting on base, and now Paulo Orlando with 2 down. Paulo Orlando drives it to deep center field, and that's off the wall. Morales to third, and he'll be held there. Paulo Orlando, who's one of the best in the league when he puts the first pitch in play. And the Tigers are lucky. The runner at first base was Kendrys Morales.
Yes, they are, and they're fortunate that there's 2 outs too, because you know all it takes for this Royals offense to get ignited is a couple of base hits, and here it was. Morales, and now Paulo pulls his hands in, stays with the pitch, drives it right up the middle, and got a little backspin on it. Romine, no chance. Morales doing all he can to try to score, but there's no chance there.
Paulo is now 16 out of 30 when he puts the first pitch in play. Well over 500.
Aggressive.
And now Brett Eibner with 2 runners in scoring position. Chases a first pitch slider, and it's 0-1.
Eibner wants to take the same approach he did off of Justin Verlander by homering in his first major league, or getting his first big league homer. Opposite field. Stay inside the ball. Don't try to pull him. All you need is a lousy single right here to crack him.
Eibner in his first at bat last night drove in a run against Verlander with a single, and then in the 5th inning hit his first big league home run against Verlander.
Opposite field in a deep part of the yard here at the K. You can be proud of that shot.
One ball, 2 strikes.
He's executing his pitches now, and this is a real sign of this young man. How does he do with runners in scoring position? Well, so far he's made some nice pitches on Eibner.
That's out of play. Speaking of runners in scoring position, and This is a number that really tells the story. Fulmer's consecutive scoreless inning streak is over 29 innings now. It's the longest in the major leagues. Over that time, opponents are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, which you'd imagine they're not driving anyone in. But think about that. They've only had 9 shots over the last 29 plus innings with a runner in scoring position. He stayed with that pitch. He strikes out 2 in the inning, and the Royals strand 2 in scoring position. Oof. Join the Royals and local business professionals for Business Day at the K on July 20th. The event will feature a pregame presentation by Royals general manager Dayton Moore and networking opportunities. And then stick around after the event to see the Royals take on the Cleveland Indians. Again, that's July 20th. Remember the old businessman special?
Yeah. Day games.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Heard that dusting off an old term there. Andrew Romine, 1 ball, 1 strike, batting 9th and playing in center field.
Although one of those games during the day here may not be too popular with this kind of heat. Oof.
Broken bat, and that'll drop in front of Kane. Tigers have their leadoff man on. They have 3 singles in 2+ innings against Ventura.
Fastball in, little jam sandwich, but he's strong enough and took a full swing. Was able to dump it out there in front of Kane.
Ian Kinsler with Romine at first base. Tried to pull that outside pitch. Kinsler opened the game with a line out to Orlando in right field. And then Iglesias lined out to Orlando in right field. And in the first inning, Paulo was dealing with the remaining bright sunlight in right. And now he's in the shadows.
And he handled 2 tough chances with no problem. But I guarantee you he's happy that sun's gone.
And now the only fielder out there dealing with any kind of sunlight would be Lorenzo Cain. Little patch of waning sunlight in center field and left center. 1-2 on Kinsler. Former MU Tiger Ian Kinsler. That's foul.
Yordano's last start went 7 innings against the White Sox and showed tremendous poise. He was under control. He didn't show any emotion. He has that fire inside. We all know that. He's a tremendous competitor. But that's the most poise I've seen in that young man. He dealt. Under control.
Well hit to left field. And Eibner makes a running play. How about Brett Eibner? We've been telling you ever since he was called up that he is not a one-dimensional player. The Royals feel like he's an above-average major league outfielder, and he displayed that on the play against Kinsler.
You don't make that play unless you get a great first step. That first step as an outfielder better be the right direction on a ball hit like that. And it had a little top spin on it. He hit the top half of the ball. It was sinking, and he was right on it. Perfect angle. That's an excellent play. That's right, yo. That had a double written all over it. What's going on here? Oh, it's a B. Maybe.
Was it, or was it a?
Sure. Salvi was jumping around like there, like I don't know what that was.
It is some sort of Midwestern bug that is attracted to Victoria's Secret perfume.
Salvi. Was it possibly a cobweb or something? It was floating by. Let's see. I think it startled Salvi at first. Oh yeah. Okay. It's cobweb. Salvi might have thought it was a spider or something. Thank you guys. Way to help us out there.
Salvi, of course, is famous for drenching himself in Victoria's Secret perfume before he takes the field every night.
Right, and I knew that. That's why you got a belly laugh out of me, because him and Escobar love their perfume.
Ball 1 to Iglesias, out on a line drive to right field in the first inning. Runner goes, and it's grounded foul.
And the reason that the runner's going, Brad Ausmus understands that Yordano is not trying to overpower hitters like he once did. He's pitching to contact. He's induced 8 ground ball double plays this year in 13 starts. So Ausmus is saying, you know what, I better get the runner moving in case my guy Iglesias hits into one. Iglesias is grounded into 5.
Romine was
6.
not running this time. And the Royals make that hurt. So he was running the pitch before. The Tigers are delaying it for a moment. They want their replay coordinator to take a look at it. And the Tigers agree. It is a 6-4-3 inning double play.
Oh, roll it up. Timing couldn't have been better. Look at Merrifield throwing off balance, showing some skills.
In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge to benefit prostate cancer research. So far, after 3 days this week, $1,290,000 has been raised, and you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. That slider stays high to Cheslor Cuthbert. Michael Fulmer set down the first 5 Royals, and then with 2 down in the second inning, the Royals got a single and a double from Morales in Orlando, and then Fulmer struck out Eibner to end the inning. Cuthbert is batting 9th, and Kia puts us in the driver's seat. This is not just another spot in the Royals order. The Royals number 9 hitters this year, as Cuthbert I think took a strike. There was no swing involved. Royals number 9 hitters are leading the league in batting average, doubles, on base percentage, and maybe most impressive, slugging percentage. That's not a position where you expect much slugging percentage. But Ned Yost, you know, if you go by the traditional way of, you know, your weakest hitter is your 9th hitter, Ned Yost has never seen his lineup that way. He's gotten a lot of production out of his number 9 hitter since taking over as manager.
Yeah, and you know, typically you want a guy with some speed down there, so you have a double leadoff guy, but there's been a lot of success there, and that's been a good spot for the top of the order to pick up some RBIs, get him on base like that. But you know, Cuthbert, he's not really your traditional 9 hitter either. But Fulmer's treating him like that. He's going to get hurt. Ooh, Cuthbert's got some pop for a 9 hitter. He loves that slider. That was a pitch there he'd like to have back. That's right down the middle.
Back with a fastball. Going back to 2010, that's the year Ned Yost took over as manager. The Royals lead Major League Baseball in batting average from the number 9 hitter. Thanks for that, Holtze.
So you're right, Ryan. Even though I predicted a low-scoring game, and I predicted a little bit of trouble for the Royals, and I've never faced this young phenom here, but they're an aggressive offense. They're swinging. They have success off of guys like this guy. That's why the New York Mets were so high and mighty with their chances of winning the World Series.
Broken bat. Upton won't make the play. Wow.
Well, let me tell you why. He took a good rip. Upton had been watching Cuthbert swing at those pitches, and he had good home run swings on him. And when Cuthbert hit that rip, he couldn't hear the crack of the bat. So he hits it off the end of the bat. Upton didn't break in right away, and there you go. Outfielders have to be able to hear the sound. All they can tell is the swing, and you can see he hesitated before he broke in. Didn't barrel it. He hit it off the end of the bat. That's how tough that can be sometimes. Now, you would think that that ball should be caught. It had enough air under it. Cuthbert will say thank you. Just add on to those higher numbers with that number 9 hitter.
Ball 1 to Merrifield. Witt grounded out to short in the first inning. Two-0. That slider doesn't have the same bite here in the third as it did in the first 2 innings.
Whitley's played a handful of games at second base, and I've been impressed with what I've seen with him. His range, the way he turns double plays, his arm, but we haven't seen him turn a double play like he did for Ventura that last inning. Watch him, he's off balance. Sometimes you're coming across that bag and you're going to make this throw off balance. You don't have a chance to set your feet, so you're going to throw off the right leg, but you got to stay on top with the throw, and he did, and got it to Haas just in time. That was special right there for Yordano.
No chance to get the grip that you want on a throw like that.
You just got to use a little rid and troll. Get rid of it with some petrol on it.
Strike with a fastball, 2-1. Merrifield has been the Royals' igniter on this homestand. He has scored the first run of the game in 5 straight games. By the way, no Royal has ever scored the first run in 6 straight games. Bunts. He got it in the air. Fulmer dives and he got his glove on it, so it's a fair ball. And with that kind of spin, I wonder if it had dropped untouched, if it wouldn't have kicked to the left and gone foul. But Fulmer went for it all, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
And now you wonder if Fulmer is going to be okay. Now, whenever a pitcher who's a competitor, he wants to catch the ball. He's not thinking about the spin. He wants to catch it. But whenever you get a guy like Fulmer, and you put him on the ground like that, and he has to use some effort that he's not used to giving, that could take him out of his game a little bit. So a great heads-up bunt by Whitley. He touches it with his arm. You see that? And that makes the ball fair. Touched it in fair territory. So a great idea. Now Fulmer's taking his time to get back up there, because on a hot day like this, and you exert yourself like that, that's extraordinary effort and energy. So now McCann's, he's a little bit concerned with him. The rest of the guys are coming in there saying, all right, now we're getting to the meat of their order here.
So is he just catching his breath, or in landing heavy trying to go for that bunt, did he hurt himself?
Well, since Kevin Rand, the athletic trainer's not out there, I'm saying he's catching his breath. Because look at that, he had a full head of steam running after that ball, and he hit the ground and he bounced a couple of times extra. So yeah, probably all season he hasn't had to make a play like that. So we'll see if that makes a difference in him here. Nobody out. Royals threatening again.
And the Tigers are convinced that Escobar is going to bunt. They already have the corners in.
And I say swing on him. You're not going to have too many chances with scores, with runners in scoring position. But you know, Ned, he empowers his players, just like his general manager Dayton Moore empowers his employees to make decisions. So sometimes the players do this on their own.
Let me ask you this, though. I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. When a hitter, did they call Escobar on a strike? Are they saying he offered, or was it a called strike?
Dale Swain better be careful now. He might get run. Let's check a look at it.
Well, he didn't offer at it.
Nope. But he called it a strike.
Okay. Corners come in even more. And Escobar forces Castellanos to make the play, and it's in time.
7th sacrifice bunt on the year for Esky. Nice touch. Hard to bunt a pitch thrown that hard, and a fastball straight as a string.
Well, here's a question I've been wanting to ask you. When a hitter like Escobar comes up and the defense is expecting bunt, and he shows bunt on the first pitch, and then they overcommit, then the corners come way in, they're on the lines. You got 2, if not 4 guys right there, Hud, out of position. Why not swing away, because it's going to be hard for them to turn a double play when they're all out of position like that, right?
And you know what? There are some times that a hitter will step out of the box and look at the manager, and the manager will go like this. There's no signs given that way.
Hosmer takes a slider inside for ball 1. So Fulmer's scoreless streak is on the line here. 30 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings, the most in the major leagues. And Hosmer bats with runners at second and third and 1 out.
So you know, you mentioned that they knew he was bunting on the second pitch. So what's Fulmer do? Throw him a heater 95 inside. He threw it inside. Escobar pulled his hands in and laid a perfect bunt down on that.
2 balls, no strikes.
Nice execution there. Watch Escobar. Now this pitch is purposely thrown in here. He wants to jam him, pop him up. But Esky just feathered it. I mean, that just
look where it is on the grid. How far?
Way in there, but he pulled his hands in, trusted his hands. That's why he wears the gold. He's got such soft hands. Two and 0. Haas needs to tell himself not to try too hard here. Just put a nice, easy swing on it. You could tell Fulmer, after going for that bunt by Merrifield, that bunt base hit, might have affected him.
You know, another thing to consider too is he took so long to catch his breath. You know, landing on his belly like that, he could have his wind knocked out of him. Plus, it's hot, and getting your wind knocked out is pretty harmless, but for the moments after that, you feel like you're going to die.
You are correct.
Three balls and no strikes with Kane on deck. No score. And in looking at the best in the American League with go-ahead runs driven in, one is at the plate, the other one is on deck among the top 5.
I'm giving him a green light here all the way. If it's down the middle, Haas wants to break up that scoreless streak and give his team the lead. There you go. Take a rip.
And he went the other way. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but in his first at bat, he had a shot on one hop to the third baseman Castellanos. And as we know, Hosmer can hit the ball out of the ballpark anywhere, but he also has excellent bat control going the other way.
Man, you could fly the Goodyear blimp up that hole up the middle there, man. I'm telling you, that's huge. Just try to get it by the pitcher here. Although Haas might want to try to take him to the hydration station.
He'll take a walk, and they're loaded up with one out. So the Royals get another runner, but I'm sure the Tigers feel like that's not the worst thing in the world, because now they can try for a ground ball and a double play. Lorenzo grounded to third in the first inning.
Lorenzo's telling himself right now, I'm going to use the big part of the field. I'm going to look out over the plate. I'm going to try to keep my swing controlled. And if I do hit it on the ground, I'm going to beat out a potential double play. So think opposite field. Don't try to pull him. That's what he wants you to do. He wants you to swing on top. If you do hit it, you'll hit the top of the ball and roll it over.
Lorenzo's a little over the league average, getting a runner in from third with less than 2 outs.
I like it. So Haas, with Cabrera not holding him on, he can get a huge secondary lead over there at first base. In case the ball's not hit that hard, it'd be tough to get him.
Just inside.
Trying to stay down there on purpose. That's what he wants to get out of this inning here. He wants him to hit a little ground ball. If he makes a mistake, make him pay.
Ooh, got a pitch out over the plate and fouled it away. And Lorenzo knows and feels like he should have done more with that pitch.
May not see another one of those. Two-seamer. Right down the middle. Still tried to pull, though. See how he pulled off of it? Now he knows Fulmer has that good slider he throws on the outer half of the plate.
Last time an opposing hitter got a hit off of Fulmer with a runner in scoring position was over a month ago. Good take. 2 balls, 2 strikes. May 15th was the last time a hitter faced Michael Fulmer with a runner in scoring position and got a base hit.
That's almost unheard of. This guy's got a little rock concert going, but it's time to crash the party.
Oh. And the Tigers get the double play after the walk to Hosmer. So Fulmer's scoreless streak is now over 30 innings. Rudd, one of the hosts of the Big Slick Celebrity Softball Game. This is the 7th installment. Here's Jason Sudeikis, Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis. There's Eric Stonestreet playing catcher. Rob Riggle also out there, all Kansas City guys. Played on the big field before the game today with a big crowd watching, which included a bench clearing brawl.
You could tell you could tell they're actors. That was funny. I was up here watching it, laughing, just cracking up. That had to have been choreographed, you think?
Oh, you think? Well, one of the highlights for us, and we think for our viewers, is when we have Joel down in the dugout suite with some of the players from Big Slick. And I think they're standing by as Miguel Cabrera singles into center field to begin the top of the 4th inning. Are you there, Joel?
Yeah, we are here, just gathering everybody. We've got Rob Riggle, we've got Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis, Eric Stonestreet, and down on the end, David Koechner. They were wondering if the brawl was choreographed or not. It looked pretty real to me.
Yeah.
What was choreographed? I'm sorry, I missed the question.
That's all right, dealing with the kids too and all that.
The brawl. I can answer this. 13.
Was our brawl 13?
What's the question?
The brawl seemed choreographed.
Oh, no, sir.
No.
Anything we do comes from a very genuine place, and it looked like there was some.
That was pure rage.
It looked like there's some chicanery going on, and we decided to, you know, people had to do what they had to do.
That brawl was pure rage.
You're pure rage. Was that the name of your band in junior high?
Pure rage, yeah.
That was a real estate term? Chicanery? Yeah.
Is that the name of every junior high
Gaelic for real estate.
Hello, everybody. We're pure
You guys
rage.
have 2 conversations going on, one down there and one down here. Something about a band named Chicanery, and I don't know.
Yeah, and pure rage.
About legalese.
Yeah. I think our band discussion was probably a little more enticing for the audience. I don't know.
We were talking about the root. we were talking about where the word chicanery comes from.
Oh.
And did you figure that out?
Chicago.
It's Gaelic for real estate.
Are you sure? I feel like you can trace it back to some sort of Greek root. All right.
Was anyone throwing as hard as Yordano Ventura? Did you see any 99s out there?
No.
Look, Sabes was out there.
Just on the
Sabes was
thermometer.
on the mound.
Yeah.
And I was first up, and I don't know if you saw it, but he threw one behind my head.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. He was sending a message early.
The message was received, Sabes.
I caught it.
The message was received.
I called for it.
You did?
Yeah.
You called for it?
Absolutely.
I'm your friend.
Well,
Well, what?
Not at that point.
This is a charitable event.
Blue versus white.
Saberhagen and I had a conversation before. We needed to send a message.
It's a charity softball game.
You got to send a message for the. You don't think charities deserve messages?
I don't.
Well, not that message.
Not that, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, you're on Rob's team.
Yeah.
Really, Sudeikis, please.
Oh no, I mean yeah.
Dave? Yeah, I don't think you.
We actually.
I don't. Now I don't
I'm not
believe
worried
you.
about
No.
uniform anymore.
I don't believe you,
what the
sir.
heck's going on.
We all
got a
call
double play.
Turn it.
You're welcome.
Why is he still
Two
standing
down.
there? Get off the. Walk home.
Oh, does he not know he's out?
Does he not know he's out?
Oh, you're out.
You're out, sir.
Oh, you're out. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now he knows.
Miguel Cabrera. Is
Miggy.
that Miguel Cabrera?
That's Miggy.
Look at Cabrera. Boy, he's a big guy.
Miguel.
Seems like he's still chatting out there.
He seems like he should know he's
You
out.
guys should yell to him.
Hi, Mr. Cabrera.
Hold on a second, guys. Where's Gene Lamont? Who's this Clark character?
Gene
Gene's on
Lamont's
the
the
bench.
bench
Where's
coach.
Gene?
Bench coach now.
Way to go, Gene.
Why? Because
Way to go, Gene.
Why? Because of us? Like he's like, hey man,
He's like, I'm not doing third base with those guys.
Those
I want to be
idiots.
bench coach.
That's too much chicanery.
Yeah.
You guys can do a reprise if you
Pure
want.
rage.
Huh?
You certainly can sing to Gene Lamont still.
We've done it every year.
I don't see why we're not
Doesn't
going to do
seem-
it this year.
There's two
There's
outs.
no reason
Be
not to,
careful here.
especially with Gene on the bench.
Saberhagen said Gene Lamont was his AAA coach.
Oh yeah.
How about that for full circle?
I love this.
Small world.
This is.
It's actually pretty big. But
Nope, small, super small.
You don't get these diamonds from a Snapple cap. I'll tell you that right now.
chicanery,
Yeah. They don't give you enough Gene Lamont trivia.
lineage of Gene Lamont and Brett Saberhagen.
Hey, is Dave Keckner okay?
Yeah, Dave's down here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, how
okay,
you doing? We're still doing a bit of legal terminology.
Oh, Dave.
This end of it.
Oh, Dave.
Come on,
Escrow. We're
Dave.
talking about escrow
You
now.
want to talk escrow? You got the right 5 guys right here.
No, Dave.
You know, a lot of choices out there of what escrow house you go. Oh, we got a high fly
Stay
ball.
put. Stay put.
It's gonna go foul.
Dave announced the softball game today and does have a bit of sports announcing.
I announce every moment of my life. Here, sitting in the nice Royals dugout down the third base line, sitting next to an Eric Stonehand
Stone Street.
Not a better seat in the house, gang.
By the way, how great is it to see Royal Stadium this packed,
Oh, it's so great.
It's great.
especially in this heat?
Yeah.
That's true fanhood right there. That's
Yeah.
true fanhood.
And since you left, they began calling it Kauffman Stadium.
They call it Kauffman Stadium?
Yeah.
Well, they call it the K, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah.
What'd you call it?
I said Royal Stadium.
Oh, wow. Oh, gosh.
I mean, that's-
I'd hate to be you right now
it's
on
not
social
that big a
media.
faux pas. That's a little.
Oh, you're going to get
pass.
lit up
That's
on
a
Twitter
bounce
for
pass.
I don't feel like it's not that big.
Rob,
of a,
when you say Royal Stadium, I'm just like, well, who plays there?
Yeah.
Where's that? You mean Old Municipal Stadium?
No, guys, it's not that big a faux pas.
Do you still
Boy.
call them freedom fries? Oh my goodness. This guy.
I feel sorry for your Twitter account tonight.
You know, Bigelow, I'm
I
hoping we get a
just asked
wild
the good
pitch.
people of Kansas City not to light me up on Twitter.
We're calling for a wild pitch over here right now.
No, just ask me
where's
to be reasonable.
Saberhagen?
Just be reasonable and understand. I said Royal Stadium instead of the K, but I do know it's the K.
That looked like my hit from the softball game.
Oh boy, here he goes.
It really
not wrong.
doesn't.
While there is a pause, how about the progress, serious question, of Big Slick and everything you've done for Children's Mercy?
I got to tell you, we're so excited. This is Big Slick 7. This is our 7th year of doing this event. And we're just incredibly grateful to the people of Kansas City for showing up, supporting Children's Mercy Hospital. The work they do is phenomenal. And it's a Kansas City treasure, and we got to take care of it collectively as a city. And I'm so glad everybody turns out and they get behind it. So I'm thrilled to death, and I'm very grateful.
Yes, absolutely. We all feel that. It's special. It's a great weekend. We really look forward to it, and it's been so terrific to know that with each year it just gets bigger and better.
We're showing the first pitch right now. That was a special moment. And I mean, Jason, you three kind of started this, and Eric and David have come on. Did you ever envision that it could become so huge?
I mean, in theory, yeah. I mean, no, I don't know if we thought it would be this big. I mean, the amount of money that people have contributed to it through the weekend is remarkable. It's staggering. I mean, I remember that first time we broke $1 million, and we've done it 2 times in a row now, and it's just a credit to the people in this city for knowing where to put their energy, knowing where to put their love, and knowing where to put their some extra dough that they might have. It's really neat.
And each year we just have such terrific sponsors that have come and come back to us. The Royals have been great to us, and
And big hats off to our celebrity.
Here comes. Here's one.
Whoa!
That was a hot chopper.
There's Angel Hernandez fielding it.
That was coming right at me.
We got to give a big shout out to our celebrity guests as well.
That's true.
Because, you know, to give up an entire weekend and fly into the center of the country for Father's Day, you know, that's a big ask. And they all come through for us, and they're
Barbecue
wonderful.
helps.
They're giving their time, their energy, their celebrity. They're just doing it for Kansas City. So thanks to all our celebrity friends that came in.
Guys, thank you very much for all of you do back at home, and see if we can get you a Royals win. Thanks for being here at whatever you want to call it.
Big Slick.
Royal Stadium.
The K. Join us at the K.
No score at the K.
No, I don't remember that.
3-2 baseball park.
Chevy. Visit your local Kansas City area Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. Well, the guys were giving Rob Riggle a hard time, weren't they?
They were. You know what? But everything's open season in that dugout. Oh, with Goldberg in there and all those stars.
That's one of my favorite innings of the season.
It was great.
I could sit and listen to those guys talk all night.
We wanted to have them another inning, but they had other plans. They said we can only do 1.5 innings.
And they probably just want to enjoy hanging out with one another. Check swing. And Fulmer throws out Salvador Perez. And I was going to say, HUD, I was going to say chicanery, you know, go ahead and look it up in the dictionary, but you don't have to look it up. You know what that word means.
Exactly. Now, I didn't spell it how it's supposed to be, but chicanery, the use of trickery to achieve a purpose. Thanks, Dave Holtzman. It's a French word.
There's Joel exchanging phone numbers with Paul Rudd.
How about that?
They're tight, you know.
Oh, believe it. They'd have been a lot tighter with a 2-run lead right here. But Lorenzo Cain did exactly what Fulmer wanted him to do. A fastball down low in the zone. He got him out of the inning. Time to mount another attack. They've had their opportunities on Fulmer. More so than the Tigers have had against Yordano.
Royals had runners at second and third and 2 down in the second inning, and then the bases loaded, 1 out in the third. 2-1 to Kendrys Morales. Morales singled in the second inning. He's got a 6-game hitting streak, and he's now hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. As the Royals continue to wait on that bat from last year. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Morales has to feel good about himself with his little hitting streak going on, but mainly the way they're playing him on defense. We haven't seen a defense play him straight up all year.
Oh, 1 out walk. second walk allowed by Fulmer. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, and it's a good night for a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Paulo Orlando doubled in the second inning on the first pitch he saw. And Paulo is 16 out of 30 when he puts a first pitch in play. Do you think he'll get a hittable pitch right here?
Well, you know what, Fulmer? Yes, this guy likes to challenge hitters, saying my fastball's better than your swing. I took a little off. But those are the reports I've gotten, talking with McCann, talking with some of their personnel on the Tigers side. They all say the young man's turnaround after that 6 ERA in his first 4 starts, he started believing in himself, trusting his stuff.
A high strike. 1-1. There were a lot of hitters on both sides, and we're only in the bottom of the 4th inning that have been at odds with home plate umpire Will Little. More so the Tigers than the Royals. But he's got an earful already.
You can't put that one in play. It looks good, but that's about all you can get it. Uh-oh. It's right off of a coconut. Sometimes we've seen so many over the years when they hit when it ball bounces like that, it's usually off the dome. I think everybody's all right. Get a little ice on it.
Cutter away. Third strikeout for Fulmer, and now 2 down in the 4th inning.
Eibner's telling himself right now, all right, you're not going to be as good as you were my last time up. Because his last time up, Fulmer threw him some beautiful pitches right in the strike zone, but off the plate and away from him and down. Pitches that any hitter's going to swing at. The thing that's impressive about Eibner, he's got really good plate discipline. That's the one. He's going to stay with it too. McCann knows they'll stay with that until he shows he can hit it.
Doesn't break much. You could see where a hitter would think it would be a fastball until the last moment.
Ooh, now that presents problems. If he's going to give him that, Eibner's saying really, but he's controlling his emotions. That was off the plate. Yeah, you know, he's telling himself you can't give him that. And Dale Swaim's having a fit over there. Same spot. They're going back to it. And they go a little further away.
See how far he'll go.
When you're ahead in the count like that, they'll go, okay, we're not going to give you anything to hit, but we're going to. And this kid has good command. Excellent command. Fulmer.
That got some of the plate, and it's pulled foul. Still 1-2. Eibner, with his strikeout in the second inning, came with runners at second and third and 2 out. If Fulmer can get through this inning, he will have 32 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings. And he does. That's the longest by a rookie in the major leagues in 35 years. Fernando Valenzuela in 81. Yordano Ventura has 4 scoreless innings of his own, and we're scoreless at the end of 4. Underwood, a student at Shawnee Mission South. And Hannah has helped raise money for Children's Mercy Hospital through Big Slick, through personal outreach and social media. She's been able to raise over $5,000 to help kids undergoing treatments while in the hospital. And Hannah volunteers through National Honor Society and Spanish Honor Society, teaching math to those who speak English and providing childcare for Hispanic children while their parents are taking English language questions. And Hannah is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game.
Nice read, Ryan. Heck, Hannah, way to go. Way to take advantage of those volunteer programs to give back to the community. And you know, you can use those volunteer hours to help get scholarships too. So young people out there in high school, if you have a big heart, you want to donate, and you want to give of your time, it can come back to you. Thank you, Hannah.
1 ball and 1 strike on Steven Moya. He was on with an infield single in the 2nd inning and called up after this play last night. JD Martinez trying to chase down a triple by Paula Orlando in the 2nd inning. Our University of Kansas hospital injury report. We found out last night that JD Martinez has a fractured right elbow and he will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. 2-2 on Steven Moya out of the Dominican Republic.
We've only seen him a couple of times, but do you have a comparable by looking at him?
How about Tony Clark?
Yeah, thought of Tony.
And I guess I'm just imagining Tony Clark in a Tigers uniform.
Yeah, no, you know, you're right, big guy, and kind of reminds me of a left-handed hitting Dave Winfield.
Still 2-2.
He's put up some nice power numbers in the minor leagues. Had a year with 30, had a year with 25. This kid's trying to seize his opportunity now. But you know, with the long arms and that big type body, really going to have to concentrate on shortening up that swing, because sometimes it could get a little bit wild, a little bit long with his swing.
Different stance, but how about Darryl Strawberry?
Wow, way to go. Yeah, different stance.
Might be a little thicker than Darryl Strawberry was, especially with his legs. He's got some big legs. Right at Lorenzo Cain, who was shaded toward left center field. 1 down, top of the 5th inning, and now T-Mobile will give us our greater coverage of baseball. Yordano Ventura and Manny Machado both suspended after the brawl on June the 7th. Yordano is appealing his 9-game suspension. Manny Machado will have his hearing on Tuesday. Royals will be in New York on Tuesday.
Well, with those off days next week, you wonder if he'll miss a start or won't.
Well, you start doing the math. Now the Royals, of course it's 9 games, not 9 days, but day off on Monday, a day off on Thursday, bookending that short trip to New York. And then the Royals will not have another day off until the All-Star break. What is that, 18 consecutive games before the All-Star break? 17. And you can see that All-Star game on Fox July 12th from San Diego. Ryan McCann grounds out. Alcides Escobar takes care of him. McCann is 0 for 2, and there are 2 down in the 5th inning. Will Myers, the former Royals farmhand, was named an All-Star Game ambassador.
Great, good for him. All right.
Now a Padres first baseman, former Royals outfield farmhand.
Right.
Used to get Wade Davis and James Shields.
I'll never forget it. that last game of the season. In our booth was the owner, Mr. Glass. And I guess he
playing the Tigers.
Yep, and I guess that he doesn't make very many appearances in the booth, and he told us that night that he was going to supply Dayton with some resources to get some pitching in here to go with the nucleus of young talent they've assembled and to change the environment from losing to winning in 12, the last game of the season. And I've never been with an organization, with a team when I played that lost 90 games and had that much optimism the next day. The people were stirred that they heard from Mr. Glass. And really, he went out and made that trade that offseason with Will Myers. Got Wade Davis and James Shields. Had to give up a little bit to get him. I think there were some more key players, but still.
Jake Odorizzi.
That was the start of the turnaround.
Here's the Glass family. Did he go? Yes, he did. 5 scoreless innings for Yordano Ventura with 4 strikeouts. If it's not a sellout, it's close to a sellout. And no score to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yordano Ventura and Michael Fulmer, and we predicted, as many people did before the game started, that this would be a pitching dominated game. Yordano Ventura has 5 scoreless. Michael Fulmer has 4 scoreless tonight and 32 and a third consecutive scoreless innings if you combine tonight and his previous starts, and that's the longest current scoreless streak in the major leagues. It's the longest scoreless streak for any rookie since 1981, going back to Fernando Mania with the Dodgers. Fernando Valenzuela in 1981.
That was quite the energy. What's the word I'm looking for? Phenomenal. It was a phenomenon. Southern California, a Mexican pitcher there. He just turned the whole baseball world upside down. I remember that. And I got to face him firsthand. And I was a comfortable 0 for 4 in his only no-hitter he threw.
Well, that's right. That was against the Cardinals.
Right.
The same night that Dave Stewart threw a no-hitter for the A's. Cuthbert is 1 for 2. 5th strikeout for Michael Fulmer. Back to that thought in a moment. Here's our sprint trivia question for tonight. Name the 5 Royals to lead AL rookies in batting average in a single season. So 5 rookies who basically won the rookie batting title. And Merrifield is hitting .327 at the moment. He is hoping to become number 6 over Hyun-Soo Kim. When the Orioles were here in April, what if I told you, Hud, in mid to late June, Hyun-Soo Kim is going to be hitting .319?
I would have laughed.
I think some people with the Orioles may have laughed if we told them that, but hey, he's made the adjustment. Witt has a bunt single and a ground out to short tonight. Anyway, getting back to Fernando, I remember the story. Fernando Valenzuela was getting ready to go start warming up, but he stayed a little longer in the Dodger clubhouse as everyone was fixated to the television to see if Dave Stewart would complete his no-hitter, and he did. So then Fernando went out and told his teammates, okay guys, now you're about to watch another no-hitter. And you know, ha ha ha, because it was a different Fernando, because that was what, early 90s, right?
It was.
Okay, so you're talking, you know, more than 10 years since Fernando Mania, and that's exactly what he did. And Vin Scully had the great call, and after the final out, as he often does, speaking to the Mexican community in Southern California after the final out, if you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
That's beautiful. But if you were a Cardinal, like most teams that get no hit, you're not happy.
There were no sombreros thrown to the sky in St. Louis?
No. And I remember when the game was over, after sitting in the dugout watching his teammates celebrate and everything, I was the last Cardinal out of the dugout. And as I walked out, I saw the lineup card there. And I took the lineup card off the wall. No one ever said it. That's before they started collecting them. I took the lineup card off the wall. The next day, I had it sent over to the other side and had all their starters sign it, had Fernando sign it, then I had all of our starters sign it. And so I framed it. I had my guy put on there.
Is it in your house?
I had it for several years, until years later when Fernando now is a broadcaster for the Dodgers on the radio Spanish side. Was sitting around the batting cage with all of us. Mike Scioscia, Mickey Hatcher, all of his old Dodger buddies were hanging out watching batting practice one day. And it dawned on me as I asked Fernando, do you have anything? Do you have the ball or anything? Do you have a keepsake from that great moment in your career? And he said, no, I didn't get the ball. I didn't get anything. So I went home. I pulled that plaque off the wall. And I started thinking, you know what? It's more important to his family than mine. And so the next day, batting practice, same guys sitting around the cage. I walked up to Fernando with this plaque with a lineup card, and I said, hey fellas, look at here it is. And so they all started going over it and bringing back memories of the whole game. And then when they were done, you know, with our chatter, I said, Fernando, here, you take it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was emotional. So was I. And so that's the thing that I get the most from that no-hitter was giving him something.
All those years later.
He didn't have. Now he has the original Cardinal lineup. So that made me feel good. And Jaime Herrin, a Hall of Famer radio guy, pulls me. He comes into our booth later in the game and he says, "What you have no idea what you just did for Fernando."
Well, Hud, if I had a sombrero right now, I would throw it to the sky in your honor.
Hey, since we got it going, we had to tell the story.
Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Ready for a great deal on a new Ford? Then it's time to go to Thoroughbred Ford. No score to the top of the 6th inning. Yordano Ventura has given up 5 hits, all singles. And Michael Fulmer has given up 4 hits, 3 singles. So it'll be the top of the order and 3rd time through for the Tigers against Ventura. Ian Kinsler, Jose Iglesias, and Miguel Cabrera. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. So how has Ventura fared this year? 1st, 2nd, 3rd time through. He's done well.
He has. He executed his pitches the 1st time through the lineup. There was where they were hitting 320 off of him, just like Dave Island wanted him to do. He's establishing his fastball, and he's using those secondary pitches for strikeouts. He got back in the zone right there, but the ball was down. Kinsler couldn't do much with that. Repeating his mechanics. He's got his shoulder going north and south right towards his target. He's not flying open.
97 and a little bit outside.
So if you challenge him right here, this is exactly what Kinsler's looking for.
That'll be back into the crowd. Couple of bounces and down into the crown seats. Well played. It's got to be a veteran Royals fan, knowing that there's a chance that foul ball would trickle down to the 4th row.
Seeing how important is Dad now. That's right.
Up the middle, Escobar, 360 turn and throws out Kinsler. You bet a tip of the cap.
Gold on gold crime is how Hosmer describes an Escobar play to Hosmer. And you see it nightly. Oh, nimble on his feet. He could have been a dancer, believe it. Look at that. Didn't have to pick it.
And now Iglesias, and he takes a strike. Iglesias is 0 for 2 so far, with a line out and a ground out into a double play. Change up.
Man, same arm speed as the fastball. Let's look at that again. Different angle. The degree of difficulty is hard to explain. But when you've been a baseball player as long as Escobar has, and you've been doing that in your sleep, it becomes routine.
And the distance on that throw, that's what? Do you think that's 10 yards past second base?
I would say so.
Okay, so that's a 40-yard throw. That's almost half the length of a football field on the move across your body to a relatively small target, and now a routine play for Escobar. Iglesias is 0 for 3. For a Mazda game break, let's go to Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. In the offseason, Roenis Elias was traded to Boston. He'd been down in the minors, comes back up and gives up 7 runs in our premier Mazda game break, including that home run from Franklin Gutierrez. First of 2 homers on the day for Gutierrez, part of a 6 RBI game for the longtime veteran.
Big home run numbers for the Seattle Mariners. Miguel Cabrera has 2 singles, one of which was an infield single. (2-0). By the way, Holtze has shown me that Sung Woo is all over us with our comments on Byung-Hyun Kim.
You mean Sung-woo, the Super Royals fan
Right.
from Korea?
Right.
He's honest?
Yeah. Holtzy's checking his Twitter account. And he's taking exception to our comments on Byung-Hun Kim.
Well, Sung-woo, look, your player, he didn't do anything in spring training.
No, he had, what, 178 or something like that?
And then the third week of the season, early in the year, the Baltimore Orioles came here in April, and he looked like a misfit. He wasn't catching balls in left field. He looked out of place. So Sung-woo, come on, cut us some slack.
3 up, 3 down for the Tigers in the top of the 6th. Still scoreless, middle of the order coming up. There's Jason Sudeikis. Big Slick 7 was tonight. He's enjoying the game from the third base dugout suite. Eric Hosmer leads off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is John Weber from Blue Springs. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, John wins $700. A grand slam out of the park, and John wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Hosmer checks his swing and takes a strike. Eric is grounded to third and walked against Fulmer. Fulmer has walked 2. He has struck out 5 and allowed 4 hits in 5 scoreless innings. Really got tied up, and Hosmer hits a soft liner to Kinsler for out number 1. Well, it gets a little better third time through, but still just a .229 opponent's batting average against Fulmer.
That's right. Overall, just .212 coming into this game. The opponents are hitting off of this young rock star.
Kane on the ground to Iglesias. Lorenzo has grounded out 3 times, once into a double play. That was huge for Fulmer in the third. Speaking of fans, there is Royals super fan Chris. This is his 1,000th home game. Going back to May of 2004, we've seen Chris on the road. I remember it was 2010 or 2011. And Chris, who delivers mail and saves up all of his vacation for the baseball season. One year he drove from Kansas City to Houston, from Houston to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh back to Kansas City. That ball's on its way to Pittsburgh. Salvador Perez gives the Royals a 1-0 lead. Way to go, Chris. It's a sonic slam. John Weber wins $700. The Royals take the lead, and Michael Fulmer's Major League best 33 and a third scoreless inning streak comes to an end.
Salvi was studying Fulmer before the game more than any other Royal, and he got his pitch and didn't miss it. 12th on the season, and it was a no-doubter. And you can't give Super Chris a better present than that, as you were talking about one of the most dedicated Royals fans there are. And did you see his face? That was beautiful. His 5th home run now in the last 8 games for Salvi.
Morales almost hit by a pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Salvi's been hitting a lot of home runs. The Royals have been hitting a lot of home runs.
That's so good.
That's an old giveaway. A Fox Sports Kansas City Royals banner. Gosh, that was 2008 or 2009 that Chris has used for his cape. That's where we came up with the nickname Super Fan, Chris, with the cape.
And look at his wife, and I guess that's his wife and son. Oh, beautiful.
That's the Royals' 13th home run in their last 8 games, and they've homered in 8 straight games.
Stinger. Will Little's going to have to walk that one off. Ooh, right in the bicep. No protection there. Nothing some ice won't help after the game. A little ice pack on there. Make it feel better. McCann, all catchers, they know. Whenever an umpire gets hit, they go out to the mound, talk to the pitcher, give him a chance to recuperate.
Full count on Morales.
Fulmer pitched around Morales his last at bat. He didn't give him anything good to hit.
Morales walks for the 2nd time. And Fulmer has walked 3 tonight.
So those walks can really help out Kendrys Morales. Now Rich Doobie getting some instruction from the field general, Brad Ausmus. Rich Doobie, big league pitching coach for the Philadelphia Phillies for several years.
While they chat, we remind you to vote for the Royals Player of the Month in one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack.
Maybe the conversation had something to do with be careful throwing this guy a first ball fastball down the middle, because Paulo's been attacking those.
Slider that backed up on him.
Took a little off.
And Paulo's double on the first pitch in the 2nd inning. And then Fulmer struck him out in the 4th, and Paulo's hitting well over 500 when he puts that first pitch in play.
Ooh. He went back-to-back pitches with it.
.96 pitches for Fulmer. And now they go to work in the Tiger bullpen. Look out. That did not make contact with Paulo Orlando, and McCann got a great bounce. And I couldn't tell if it was off the stone wall or the signage panel, but the ball came right back to him. And Kendrys Morales, even though he's the fastest major leaguer with 6 screws in his ankle, decided to stay put.
Yeah, now with super slow motion, we can see it just missed his elbow. Morales, he doesn't have the luxury we do up here of seeing that super slow motion replay. He thought it hit him. Apollo, he doesn't want to get hit by a pitch. He wants to hit one in a gap.
Shane Green warms up in the Tiger bullpen. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning for Detroit last night. Another changeup. So he does not want to challenge Paulo with a fastball, except one that's going to go under his armpits.
And I kind of had the feeling that's what Brad Ausmus sent Doobie out to tell him. Ausmus, longtime catcher, he knows about hitters, and so he probably told him, hey, look, be careful with this guy, he can hurt you.
He'll try and come back inside with another fastball.
You know,
and it just missed.
I'm extremely proud of Paulo for his perseverance. 9 years in the minor leagues. He's like a little bit like Eibner and Merrifield, who've put in their time down there. They've got plenty of at-bats in. They know how to play the game, and now they're coming up here and they're putting that in play. They're confident players. Not going to challenge him.
Morales runs, and the pitch is high. Back-to-back walks. And now Brad Ausmus goes to the steps. Back on May 21st, Michael Fulmer allowed a solo home run to Evan Longoria in the 6th inning. May 21st, almost a month ago. Then 33 1/3 scoreless innings. And another home run, this time allowed to Salvador Perez to give the Royals the lead. Chevy called to the bullpen. It's Green to face Eibner when we come back. Lead 1-0, bottom of the 6th tonight. Game 3 will be on FS1. First in the afternoon, it's the Rangers and the Cardinals at 3 p.m. That's on FS1, and then the Royals and the Tigers on Fox. You can always watch on Fox Sports Go. An impressive scoreless streak for Michael Fulmer, and it comes to an end on a Salvador Perez home run in the 6th inning. And now Shane Green with 2 on 2 out to face Brett Eibner.
He came in last night and showed some really good stuff. A cutter. He sinks it and cuts his fastball. 92 to 94. He's got a curveball and very few changeups.
That's what Fulmer threw Eibner one pitch after another, hard sliders away, and got him to strike out in 2 at bats, both times swinging. So now Green is out of the bullpen and goes after Eibner with the same pitch. After the Perez home run, Morales and Orlando both walked. 2-1. Royals are not known for taking walks, but that was a season high 4 walks allowed by Michael Fulmer. And now Green gets Eibner to chase one out of the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Kid was impressive. We heard all about him, and now we see why they're raving about him. He was really strong. He showed tremendous command. Even though those walks, some of those were intentional, though, unintentional, intentional walks. He pitched around a few guys. That's smart. He showed me a little bit of veteran savvy there. That's a great pitch there.
But the Royals break through on a 2-out home run from Salvador Perez.
Pilot to Bombardier. Open up those Bombay doors.
A 1-0 lead. Panera takes us around the league. Cleveland beats Chicago. Seattle doubling up Boston. New York all over Minnesota behind Carlos Beltran. And the Mets drop to the Braves. Our premier Mazda game break. Michael Saunders on the day that Jose Batista goes on the DL with a toe injury. Saunders picks up the slack. Not 1, not 2, but 3 homers and 8 RBI, and I'll steal it because I read it elsewhere. He's a British Columbia native. He's Canadian, so that would be the baseball version of a hat trick.
Victor Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Justin Upton in the top of the 7th inning. Victor Martinez hit 3 home runs last night. Tonight he is grounded out twice, once into a double play. Yordano Ventura at 92 pitches, trying to give the Royals 7 innings. There's a base hit into left center field. And now the ball skips by Kane. And Martinez is going to dig for 2 after a delayed response. And the tying run is at second base with nobody out. And boy, those things happen. But with a guy like Victor Martinez, you could almost go to your knees and block it like a hockey goalie just to make sure it doesn't go by, as slow as he is.
Yeah, that pitch was moving away from him, and he stayed inside and even tweaked his ankle a little bit. A slow start getting out of the box. When Kane got to it and kicked it, looked like he just kind of jogged after it.
Oh man, he had Martinez. If he digs hard to get that ball and throw to second base, Martinez, it was like an afterthought when he went into second.
He saw it. He saw the kick from Kane. That's his third error of the season for Lorenzo Kane, and he said, I can make it to second base. So now here we go. Let's see if they can try to move him.
Castellanos singled to center in the fourth inning. Ventura has also struck him out. Before the air, I was about to say a leadoff single with the Royals leading 1-0 sounds bad, but with Victor Martinez at first base and nobody out, that's hardly a threat. I mean, you're going to have to get at least 2 more hits, if not 3, to get him to score from first base. But the error puts him in scoring position with nobody out.
You know, you got to credit Victor. As banged up as he is, twisted his ankle coming out of the box, got to first base and says, I can make it.
1-2 on Castellanos. Ventura had set down 7 straight and 8 of 9 before the Martinez single. Whoa. Very close. 2-2.
I think it's been a strike all night. Fulmer got some of those. Yeah, I agree with you, Ned. All you want from umpires is consistency both ways.
So Ventura comes back with another breaking ball and strikes out Castellanos anyway. And is number 6 for Ventura.
You can tell Ventura wants to pick up Lorenzo Kane in the worst way. So he's going to try to execute and keep that ball down. Doing a marvelous job.
I think any pitcher would want to pick up Lorenzo Kane. When you think about how many times Lorenzo Kane has picked up a pitcher.
Oh, you better believe that.
Curveball for a strike to Upton. And if you're hoping for another strikeout, here's another good candidate. He has struck out twice already against Ventura and 89 times this year. Both strikeouts with a breaking ball, and now 1 ball and 1 strike.
Salvi liked that placement for the curveball. Kept it right in front of him. Previous strikeout. Salvi just opens up his glove and he pushes the ball and keeps it in front of him. He doesn't try to close his glove.
Slow roller. Cuthbert cuts in front of Escobar. High throw. Hosmer. The Royals didn't get an out, but they are lucky that it's first and second and 1 out. That could easily be second and third and 1 out.
Now we've seen Cuthbert time and time again on soft hit balls to his left, which would make an easier play for him compared to Escobar coming in and having to make that play on the run. And he has always made the play. Just a little bit high with the throw there. Yordano Ventura. Great job. 24 innings versus the Tigers here at the K. Didn't give up a home run. Great job.
So it's an early call for Kelvin Herrera. Chevy call to the bullpen as the crowd acknowledges Ventura's night. Ventura on the back as he departs with 1 out and 2 on in the 7th inning. And just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yordano Ventura following up his last start, which he went 7 innings and dealt. Again, giving Ned Yost the innings, getting towards the back end of their pen, using his defense, inducing ground ball double plays, and for that you get a standing O here at the K. Nice job, Yordano. He's still animated, wanted to stay in the game, obviously. But when you have a bullpen like the Royals, especially their back end guys, Ed Yost is going to go to him, especially when you got like Herrera with a 1.7 ERA, 37 strikeouts in 31 innings. Third game. Above average fastball, above average changeup, and a nice slider.
Played on a fastball at 97. Steven Moya just called up today with JD Martinez going on the disabled list. He's 1 for 2. Didn't mean to do it. No balls, 2 strikes.
Moya's probably telling himself, played a lot of AAA ball, but don't think I've seen a fastball like that. And he hasn't even showed him the changeup yet.
Do you show him the changeup with 2 swings like that?
No. Especially when you got an emotion out of that last swing there, he wasn't happy.
Late on the fastball.
Now you throw him the changeup. Away, down and away.
Yeah, make sure it's not a strike.
No, because you'll speed his bat up. But Herrera is excellent with that control of that changeup. We'll see. Salvi knows him better than we do.
High fastball. And Salvi had the target up for Herrera. Victor Martinez opened the inning with a single, went to second on an error by Kane. Castellanos struck out, and then Upton reached on a throwing error by Cuthbert. And now the Royals pitchers Ventura and Herrera trying to pick up the defense. There's the changeup, and it's 2-2.
It's important that he keeps that pitch that away and off the plate like that. Don't want to make a mistake with that, especially after the 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastballs. That speeds the hitter's bat up when it's out over the middle.
On the ground, Merrifield. Did they get the out? They did. Whit Merrifield saved a run and got an out along the way.
Look at Yordano. He's saying thank you very much. Plays like that can lift an entire ball club, especially the starter who worked his tail off. Look at this play. Oh, fully extended. I mean, that ball was by him, and he's able to grab it and shuffle it over there. That's not an easy play, especially with a guy with decent speed in Upton. Escobar, nimble feet. Got the out.
So it's 1st and 3rd with 2 down to James McCann. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Slider away. No balls and 1 strike. 2 at bats for McCann against Herrera and 2 strikeouts. Look out. 99. And when it's that close, you can hear it.
Better believe it.
Probably don't dig in as deep after a pitch like that.
Just going to say there's nothing wrong with that location there. As long as it's down, not up near the shoulders.
Again.
That'll get your attention 2 in a row.
And that maybe tells you that the first one wasn't an accident.
Yeah, but McCann got out of the way of that as good as I've seen a guy get out of the way of it. He recognized it and turned quickly towards the backstop.
Skips away from Sal. Here comes Victor Martinez. He stopped, and Salvi dropped the ball. A huge break for the Royals. Martinez could have scored. Victor Martinez saw Salvador Perez at the screen with the ball in his hand, and he hit the brakes.
Well, that's a lucky break, no question. But you know, he saw Herrera, how he busted home like that. And Martinez, he says, nah, maybe I better not. And you know, after Lorenzo Cain's error, I thought Osmus might pinch run for him, but it's too early in the game still. Martinez has another at bat coming. He don't want to take his bat out of the lineup. But had he pinch ran for him, they would have scored that run. So you know, it's give and take. You don't want to take a hitter of his caliber out of his lineup, you know, especially when he's got another AB coming.
You're already without JD Martinez. Cameron Maybin, who's on the bench and would be a great pinch runner. We hear he's not 100%. The Tigers want to rest him for a couple of games.
Whew, man, Herrera got away with one there. Now McCann, do you see him inhale and take that deep breath? Exhale, that helps him with his focus, helps him relax.
3-2. Two errors and a wild pitch. And to this point, the Tigers have not scored. In the middle of that, maybe the best defensive play of the game by Whit Merrifield. Still 3-2. McCann hit a big home run for the Tigers in the 7th inning last night, and that tied the game at 4. Tigers would go on and win 10-4. We'll do it again.
McCann took Hochevar deep on a hanging curveball last night, so you don't want to give him anything soft up there. So stay firm, or the slider away. That caught too much of the plate there. McCann, but because he took some speed off of that pitch, got him out in front.
And because he was late on the fastball before that, he wasn't able to stay back as long as he wanted to. Still 3-2.
You get in a situation like this when you're relieving Yordano Ventura after an excellent start against the Tigers. You don't want to get beat on your second and third best pitch. You want to go ahead and challenge him and make him beat you with your best.
Here's the 9th pitch of this at bat.
Okay, McCann's getting closer and closer.
Fan played the ricochet, brought his glove, and he's got a souvenir. This will be the 10th pitch. Herrera to McCann. McCann has fouled off 4 straight. Changeup grounded to Hosmer. So in this inning, the defense at one point giveth, but in the end, the defense taketh away.
Oh, can we get a witness?
Is brought to you by Ram. Come discover great deals during the Ram Drive and Discover event. One nothing Royals after a scary top of the 7th inning. Yordano Ventura and Kelvin Herrera worked around 2 errors and a wild pitch to hold the Tigers down. Salvador Perez has provided the offense with a home run in the 6th against Michael Fulmer. Shane Green got the last out of the 6th inning and stays on for the 7th to face Cuthbert, Merrifield, and Escobar as Yordano Ventura heads for the showers. Another very strong outing for him. 2 great outings after the brawl in Baltimore.
How about that? He's able to settle in. 6 hits, no runs, no walks. That's even more impressive. Nice command. Way to get her done.
Inside to Cuthbert.
Green.
Chesler has singled and struck out. Sorry, Hud.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, Green struck out the last batter in the inning, Brett Eibner, on a nice cutter. So we're seeing a lot of cutters and breaking balls from Green.
Three and one. There's a base hit into left field. Chesler Cuthbert has a 2-hit game, and he's on to begin the bottom of the 7th. All right, our sprint trivia question. Name the 5 Royals to lead American League rookies in batting average in a single season. Well, I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but
how about Seitzer?
That's who I had. I had Kevin Seitzer.
That's the only one I could think of.
I guess we could go to the rookies of the year. So we can start with Lou Piniella. We could go to Bob Hamlin.
Wow. There you go.
I'm just doing rookies of the year.
Well, no.
Carlos Beltran. Okay.
Seitzer's got to be on there.
So
he had a one heck of a rookie year, didn't he?
He's on the list. He had 200 hits in 1987, and if not for Mark McGwire hitting 50 home runs, Seitz would have been rookie of the year. Cuthbert to second base on a wild pitch. He was running on the play, so they'll call it a stolen base. And Merrifield swung and missed, so that was probably a hit and run.
Yeah, because we haven't seen him swinging a ball like that in his short time in the big leagues. I thought that might be a first steal of the year. I mean, of his career. I was just about ready to go to the book, but you guys beat me to it. Way to go. Congratulations, Cuthbert. Move him. Try to move him with something to the right side, and Merrifield, his swing is built for this situation right here. With nobody out, you want to try to move him over to third. You don't want to bunt him here, in my opinion. With Escobar coming up, the way Merrifield swings the bat, he could find a gap or a single and score him. This late in the game, the Royals got to, get a little insurance here. This is a little bit too close for comfort against a slugging team like the Tigers. Castellanos, the third baseman, he's not a believer. He's in on the grass. That's because Merrifield is an excellent bunter.
Taking a shot at the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I'm sure that's what McCann reminded Shane Green about when he went there to talk to him. He's saying, you know what, this guy, he's good out over the plate. Let's pitch him inside. And so if a hitter, as a hitter with 2 strikes on you, and you think he's going to be coming inside, go ahead and turn on him. You can get him over and in with a base hit.
Goes the other way. Cuthbert racing back to tag, but it wasn't deep enough. So Chesler's at second base with 1 out.
That's a good try.
All right, so we've got Kevin Seitzer, Lou Piniella, Bob Hamlin. Another hint was a player on this team. So I'll say Eric Hosmer. So 1 left. They've become impatient. Mark Quinn.
The mighty Quinn.
Yep. And that was his first full season after hitting 2 home runs in his first major league game in 1999 after he called up in September. Escobar has flied to center twice and dropped down a sacrifice bunt. Slider in for a strike.
Alcides hitting 246 with a runner in scoring position. He's been in a little bit of a down spell lately. Hit right here would really lift him up, lift his confidence. Plenty of holes out there as Kinsler's holding Cuthbert close. Second base. Look at that. Escobar, we've seen him do that. He can drop those in there. Especially with those cutters on the outer half he's been throwing.
1-1. Escobar appears to be picking up that pitch. I mean, he took one for a strike, and then that's a pitch where he can be very vulnerable, but he hasn't even so much as flinched at those sliders down.
Well, he knows how they've been getting him out, and he's been swinging over the top of them.
Way inside, 2-1. Lays off that slider. 3-1.
Yeah, you know, you show some plate discipline, and now the pitcher's saying, wow, I don't want to put him on, I got to throw him a strike. So that's going to be the key for Escobar. Walks and hits to the opposite field are what get a hitter going. Seeing more pitches when you walk, and when you get that base hit to the opposite field, all of a sudden you'll recognize that pitch inside and be able to turn on that better. It's just how it happens.
Mark Lowe and Blaine Hardy are warming up in the Tiger bullpen. Wow, how about that movement? That pitch started a foot outside and tailed back over the plate.
That's the sinker, and that's exactly why Ausmus lets Shane Green step up his role, putting him in a prominent position, going from starter to reliever.
Great plate appearance. It's almost as if Escobar knew what was coming. I'll bet the Tigers are stunned that they didn't get a swing from Alcides Escobar on those sliders down.
You could tell by Shane Green walking around the mound. Now McCann going out there to talk to him, thinking, well, that didn't work. What are we going to do now? Haas, it's time to make him pay.
Tomorrow, coverage of the 116th U.S. Open Championship from historic Oakmont continues as those who survive the cut try to move up the leaderboard. Third round coverage begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. only on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Well, Blaine Hardy was warmed up and ready to go, and yet Brad Ausmus is going to stay with Green to face Eric Hosmer. Over the inside for strike one. Hosmer did not face Green in his scoreless 8th inning last night, but he does have 8 at-bats in the past against Green and has 3 hits, including a double.
Okay. There's some confidence here.
Ground ball, base hit left field. Cuthbert rounds third. He'll score. Escobar stumbled around second. He wanted to go to third. So that was a gut decision by Brad Ausmus, because He left the righty in there, and Hosmer had good numbers against him. He didn't bring in Hardy. Hosmer does not have good numbers against lefty Hardy. And that move backfired.
Sure did. I kept waiting. That's why McCann walked out to the pitcher's mound, thinking that Ausmus was going to make a change. High fastballs. Haas lives in left field on those pitches. Cuthbert, nice job of cutting the corner and hitting the corner of that third base bag. Royals on top 2-0 here in the 7th, and what a game we're in. Lava hot. That's as hot as you can get as a hitter.
Which volcano is that, by the way?
I'm not sure, but I like what I'm seeing. So does she. Good job, man.
Mark Lowe comes on with 2 on, 1 out. A run home for the Royals, a 2-0 lead. And now Lorenzo Cain with Escobar at second base, Hosmer at first. Hosmer just drove in Cuthbert. Cain's had a tough night. Back in the 3rd inning, the Royals had the bases loaded with 1 out against Fulmer, and Fulmer got Lorenzo to ground into a double play. So at the plate, he's 0 for 3, and he's also committed an error in center field, but Ventura and Herrera were able to cover that. And now Lorenzo has a chance to add to the Royals lead.
Yeah, they picked him up. That's what you do for your teammates, if you can. Lorenzo Cain, in case you have forgotten, last year in center field he had plus 18 runs saved. That was 2nd best among outfielders. This year he's 3rd with 8+ runs saved. So like you said, Rhino, he's picked up plenty of pitchers with his ability in center field. They can cut him some slack on that one.
1-1.
Boy, Mike Jersley, third base coach, he's almost over there shaking hands with Ausmus. He's really out of that third base box, and Cain pulled that one right by him.
That's a waste of paint, by the way.
The box. Yeah, the third base box.
That's something they can. There's no reason to have that on the grass anymore, is it?
I think for aesthetic purposes, maybe that's why they have it there. It looks good.
Popped up. Miguel Cabrera into foul ground. So 2 on, 2 out to Salvador Perez, who turned in our Dodge drive of the game, a scoreless game with 2 down in the 6th inning.
Well, that little cutter stayed up, and just in time for Salvi. who has the knack, at least at home here, to get the big hit.
And that put an end to Michael Fulmer's impressive scoreless inning streak. 33 1/3 innings. Longest scoreless streak for a rookie since 1981.
Fantastic job by that young man. What a Michael Fulmer. Way to go. That was an impressive streak you had.
Low throws low. 1 ball and no strikes. This is a name that keeps coming up as the Tigers hope to improve their bullpen numbers. They're happy with Francisco Rodriguez. He's not the same pitcher as he was with the Brewers and the Angels. They love what Shane Green has done, but they need Mark Lowe to pick it up. Salvi's taking all the way, and that's inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yep, Mark Lowe, he's a veteran. 90 to 95 with his fastball, slider. Occasional curve and change. Mainly a 2-pitch guy.
He entered tonight with an 8.55 ERA. Two and 1. Salvi's shin guard came loose with that last pitch. Salvi has hit 3 home runs, and he's driven in 7 against the Tigers this year. And this is just game 5 between the two teams. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Slider down. Salvi's got to see him up. In case you were wondering about outfield assists out there, Upton, the left fielder, has 3. Romine in center has none, and neither does Moya. But Moya has a good strong arm. Just because you don't have an assist doesn't mean that you can't throw the ball very well. But you can see how deep they are. Escobar, good speed. Any base hit's going to score him.
Full count. Morales would be next. And Morales has been on 3 times tonight. Big crowd, 37,746. There they go. And there it goes. Right center field. That'll get 2 more home. And Salvi's digging for 2.
That's one of the best swings we've seen from Salvador. Now, it didn't score a run with a home run swing, but he had the idea, the feeling that Lowe was going to throw him a slider away, and he did. Look at that head position. That was a beautiful booty knock. Backside falls out, head stays down on the ball, goes with the pitch. Oh, and now the K is erupting in the Salvi chant.
And now Morales with Perez at second base. Salvador Perez, among American League catchers, leads the league in home runs, batting average, RBIs, slugging percentage, hits, and he's second with doubles.
And he's getting closer to 300.
Two and 0 on Morales.
Boy, you know what? That hit right there just locked him in. And that lady we saw with the sign, Lava hot, that's right. Okay, now watch this. This pitch is way down. Now you freeze it there. When that backside falls out like that, head position's right down in there. I like to term that a booty knock. That's right. Backside falls out. Way to go with it.
Three and 0.
Morales is getting locked in. I can just tell. He's getting the walks. He's being patient now. All of a sudden, maybe it's coming back to him. He's been trying too hard, hitting under 200 for most of the season. Now he's saying, hey, look, I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to try less.
And he walks for the third time tonight. This one a 4-pitch walk. And the inning continues. We're talking about the U.S. Open coverage tomorrow on Fox. Beginning of the third round at 10 a.m. Well, they have not completed the second round. And that coverage will begin at 6:30 in the morning, Kansas City time, on FS1. And then the beginning of round 3 at 10 a.m. on Fox.
That's Dustin Johnson who's leading. Boy, I'm still scratching my head at why he left Shane Green in to face a Hosmer who hits .353 off of right-handed pitching, in the top 10 in the league in that category.
Well, again, that's just a gut decision, because if you went purely by the numbers, there's no way he would have left Green in there. Hosmer had good numbers against Green. He did not have good numbers against the lefty Hardy. And just to enhance your point, Eric Hosmer's batting average against right-handers is the 4th best in the major leagues. Wow. So that was against the book.
Haas hitting .231 against lefties, and that average is coming up. He's been bringing that up. It was under 200 for most of the season, but recently he's been raking the lefties as well.
Well, Orlando visibly upset with Will Little, and it was only about 3 innings into the game tonight, and Will Little was getting chewed on by both dugouts and hitters from both sides. Shallow center field, and that's down for a hit. Salvador Perez scores. It's a 4-run bottom of the 7th inning.
That's right, Paulo. It's okay. Let that go. Forget about the bad call there. You got yourself a knock with a stake attached as the Royals keep the line moving. Yeah, good swing. Kept his hands inside the ball. You try to pull it, it's a grounder. Oh, using the large part of the field as the ticket.
So Mark Lowe's troubles continue. That 8.55 ERA. He's given up a 2-run double, a walk, and an RBI single, and now the 9th man to come up in the inning is Brett Eibner. And Eibner's had a tough night. 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts, 2 against Michael Fulmer, 1 against Shane Green, all with sliders.
Well, one of the reasons that Lowe's had some issues is pretty simple. He's elevating his pitches. They're getting hit up in the zone like that.
Lays off the slider, 1-1. This was a scoreless game through 5.5 innings. And similar to last night, a competitive game has gotten out of hand in the later innings. Royals got 1 in the 6th, and they scored 4 here in the 7th inning. 2-1 on Eibner.
Royals with runners in scoring position off of Michael Fulmer were 0 for 3 coming into the 7th inning, and now the big hits are happening. 3 for 5 now in the 7th. And just like Jason Kipnis of Cleveland was telling me, they just keep coming. You never know when they're going to erupt. Early or late, they're coming.
Grounded out to Iglesias. He'll flip to second, and that ends the inning. The Royals bat around and they score 4. Speaking of Kipnis, the Indians have won tonight, so the Royals need a victory to remain a half game back. It all started with a Chesler Cuthbert single. Hosmer drove in 1, Perez drove in 2, and top of the 8th inning. It's also the big slick celebrity softball night. Big crowd watching. And tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery, with producer Brian Shapiro, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and our producer for Royals Live is Alan Stout. What a sight. Packed Kauffman Stadium, and the Royals thrilling the fans tonight with a 5-0 lead. Gerard Dyson takes over for Eibner in left field. Now Kelvin Herrera can pitch more than 1 inning, so that's not a stretch. But what is a stretch for him is to finish 1 inning and then sit for 30 minutes or almost 30 minutes and then come back out. He has 5 runs to work with. He only had 1 run to work with when he came on in the top of the 7th inning.
It could affect maybe command, but certainly as hot as it is out here, he didn't stiffen up at all.
Romine chops it out to Hosmer. Race to the base, and Herrera just gets there in time in front of Romine. Romine is 1 for 3.
Brian, I got to get an important shout out in before our game's over to a young man, Mitch Schmitz. He turns 24 tomorrow. He's having brain surgery tonight in Columbia, Missouri. Mitch, we're with you. Hang in there. And happy birthday.
Speaking of Columbia, Missouri, here's Ian Kinsler, who finished his college career there. So his birthday and having brain surgery tonight.
Right, tonight, and his birthday's tomorrow. It's going to work.
Ian Kinsler is 0 for 3. He's been victimized by the Royals defense on 2 occasions. He is line to right, line to left, and grounded to short. Brett Eibner made a fine running play on Kinsler in the 3rd inning out in left field. And then Alcides Escobar made a good play on him in the 6th. That is pulled just foul, and it's 0-2 on Kinsler. Brand new souvenir, brand new picture. Right center field. Slicing over to Paulo Orlando. 2 outs. Kinsler's 0 for 4 and just 1 for 9 in the series. The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City are offering a unique way for fans across the Midwest to enjoy a game here at Kauffman Stadium. The Forever Royal Fan Express will stop in St. Joe on June 25th. Fans in designated markets will have the opportunity to win a trip to the K. Go to Royals.com/Fan Express for more information.
All aboard.
Slider for strike to Jose Iglesias. This will be the first time all year that Herrera has gone over an inning.
At least Royals fans can breathe now after that outstanding last inning. Royals dropped a 4 spot. Ooh, good location there.
If needed, and it takes a special circumstance like Game 5 of the World Series, which went 12 innings, Kelvin Herrera can go 3 innings.
In that game, he threw 33 pitches. Boy, he was efficient, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Cuthbert, quick release, strong throw, and gets Iglesias.
Nice play. Way to go, El Toro.
It all started with Salvador Perez, a scoreless tie with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Salvi homered to give the Royals a 1-0 lead, and then the Royals scored 4 in the 7th, and Salvi was in the middle of that. He had a 2-run double. He's driven in 3 of the 5 runs in front of a huge crowd here tonight, waiting for fireworks after the game.
See all the smiles on the people's face here. How about that? They're happy.
So here's Blaine Hardy, who has good numbers. He's made 11 appearances. He has a 1.59 ERA. He was warmed up and ready to go to face Eric Hosmer with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning and 2 runners on. Cuthbert hustling. Castellanos can't grab it, and it'll be a base hit for Chesler. He has a 3-hit game.
Chesler will take it. Whenever you top one like that, and Cuthbert being a third baseman himself, he knows how difficult this is. Now, had Castellanos gloved it, might have had a better chance at that.
Another 10-hit game for the Royals. And here's Whit Merrifield. It has been a mostly quiet game for Whit at the plate. It has not been a quiet game for Whit on defense, as he made the defensive play of the game for the Royals back in the 7th inning to save a run.
Whit has been some kind of hot. He's gotten a hit in 23 of 25 starts so far early in his career.
Up the middle. Kinsler misses with a dive. And now Merrifield has a 2-hit game.
Changeup stayed up in the zone. Whit, short, quick, compact swing. Hit it right where he wanted to. And if I'm not mistaken, he looked at Rusty Kuntz, and I read his lips, and he said, "Believe it."
These are his numbers coming into tonight. The first 25 games of his career, tied with Johnny Damon with the most hits in the first 25 games, and tied with Mike Aviles, who is now playing for the Tigers, with 9 doubles in his first 25 games, and the second most runs scored to Johnny Damon in the first 25 games of a Royals career. So 25 games doesn't make a career, but Whit Merrifield is on his way. That is a fair ball. Diving play. Castellanos close and out. Alcides Escobar loses an extra base hit. It is still a productive out as Cuthbert goes to third and Merrifield goes to second.
Oh man, Eske thought he had a double with another RBI. That's a heck of a play. Man, that's not easy to get a guy that can run like Eske.
Well, here's the Hardy Hosmer matchup.
Okay, let's see what happens.
And Brad Ausmus, he knows his players better than we do. And yet it was a move I'm sure he'll be asked about after the game tonight. Hardy was warmed up and ready to go, but Brad Ausmus stayed with Shane Green, and Hosmer drove in the Royals' second run of the game in the 7th inning, and it was the first of 4 runs in the 7th inning. And there's a base hit into center field, so maybe it didn't matter either way. 1 run home. Here's Merrifield. Hosmer is driven in 3, and the Royals lead 7-0. And now that won't be as much of a piercing question for Brad Ausmus after the game tonight.
That's right. That was a cookie. He's not going to miss that. Eric Hosmer uses the whole field as good or better than anyone in baseball. He is one of the best players in baseball. Whenever you mention Haas to any of the out-of-town writers or any of the broadcasters that come to town, they all just go, "Oh, yeah, we know about him. He's a bad man."
You had pointed out that his overall numbers are still down against lefties, but on the rise.
That's right. And he's starting to see more of them, and he's going to see more of them as managers are going to come in here late in games and situations. Hey, Locaine got one in the Locaine triangle.
That makes Lorenzo 1 for 5 tonight. Sometimes it seems that way.
I agree with the young man. That ball rotating. It's not too bad. Caught a little bit of the plate, but Lorenzo wasn't trying to pull it.
Salvador Perez, like Eric Hosmer, has driven in 3. He drove in the Royals' first run, which was himself, with a 2-out home run in the 6th inning, and then hit a 2-run double in the Royals' 4-run 7th. A lot of Royals on this roster played with Blaine Hardy, who came up through the Royals organization. 22nd round draft pick in 2008 out of Lewis Clark State in Idaho. He spent 5 years in the Royals farm system, but when he made his major league debut, it was against the Royals. That is just foul. Two years ago, in fact, almost 2 years to the day, Blaine Hardy made his big league debut in Detroit against the Royals. He entered with the bases loaded and nobody out, and got 2 strikeouts and did not allow a run.
Hardy's not overpowering, obviously, you can tell.
Kinsler makes the play, 2 down. So it's Kendrys Morales with 2 on, 2 out. Don't forget, tomorrow is the Kendrys Morales bobblehead giveaway, commemorating his big home run in Game 5 of last year's ALDS. All of the bobbleheads showcase special moments from the 2015 World Series run, so make sure to collect all 5. Get here early tomorrow. Download the MLB Ballpark app for an easy and more convenient way of purchasing your tickets. Ned Yost with a 1-0 game going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Had Herrera and Wade Davis all set to go, but now the Royals with 7 runs, and Wade Davis literally walks off the mound. He may have a souvenir. Kendrys Morales hits a 3-run home run, and it's a rout at Kauffman Stadium. 10-0 Royals.
Be back. I told you them walks, 3 walks tonight. Now this big home run to go with his single. And Morales says bam, bam. That is out. Ball wasn't walking.
Pulled foul by Paulo Orlando. Very similar games. Last night it was a 1-run game going into the 7th inning. Royals led 4-3, and Detroit piled up the runs in the later innings and won 10-4. Tonight it was a one-run game going into the 7th inning, and now it's the Royals scoring 9 runs in the last 2 innings.
Yeah. Royals want to return the favor. Still 2 more games in this 4-game set here.
Ten runs, 14 hits for the Royals, 2 home runs. And the Royals bats are heating up with the weather. The Royals have hit 14 home runs in their last 8 games, including 8 games in a row. Paulo Orlando is down on strikes. After batting around in the 7th, the Royals sent 8 to the plate in the 8th. They add 5 more and lead 10-0. For 6 innings, and the Royals have scored 9 in each of the last 2 innings. Joel and Monty will be talking about that. Boulevard Royals Live coming up after the game. Also, Yordano Ventura, 6 1/3 scoreless. Christian Colon will play second base in the 9th inning. Whit Merrifield goes to left and pushes Jarrod Dyson to center. And Drew Butera will catch Dylan G.
Yep. Hey, give him a half inning off. Rest those guys up for tomorrow night.
(10-1).
Think he had an idea fastball was coming?
Better timing tonight than his home run last night.
I'll say. Right down the middle. See how short and compact. Top hand takeoff.
Your attention, please. Batting in the designated hitter, Victor.
So 1 pitch, 1 hit, 1 run against Dylan G. And now Mike Aviles is going to bat for Victor Martinez. Aviles started in the game last night in the outfield. Started in left, and then when J.D. Martinez went down with the injury. He finished the game in right. Mike Aviles never appeared in the outfield with the Royals. One down.
Now, I'm going to get a chance to talk to him on Sunday. And I want to tell him what a nice job he did out there in the outfield on that ball when they moved him to right after the injury. And just give him a little way to go, because look, it's tough. If you've never played out there before, you can be a little intimidated.
Ball 1 to Nick Castellanos. That home run for Miguel Cabrera is his 24th against the Royals and his 103rd career RBI. He has basically had a full season of at-bats now against the Royals. And those numbers would be 309, 24 home runs, 103 RBIs. Coming up on 550 at-bats.
Be interesting to tally those numbers against all of his opponents and their teams. Probably not too far off.
Up the middle, base hit center field for Castellanos. So he's on with one out. Getting back to Yordano Ventura's night. And I asked you the question when the Royals had their dust up with the Orioles in Baltimore. I asked you, I said, is this what the Royals need right now? And it's not like the Royals responded right away one way or the other. That was in the middle of the 8-game losing streak on the road trip. You suggested that maybe it was what they needed, not necessarily the fight, but maybe what would be the result of the fight. And I think it remains to be seen if that's something that the Royals needed, but apparently it was something that Yordano Ventura needed, because he's given up 1 run in 13 1/3 innings since that fight.
He's been dealing. And if you remember last year when he was having those issues, once he got those things by him, he settled in, started pitching better then. I just thought it was going to be a good thing for all of them, and it didn't exactly end their losing streak, but came back and jumped on a nice streak. And at least Ventura now is saying, all right, I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to channel that energy down in the zone and help my team win games. It's all about the team. There's no individual bigger than the team.
A full count on Justin Upton. It is 10-3. So Miguel Cabrera and Justin Upton have gone deep in the 9th inning. And for Upton, that is just his 5th of the year.
Oh, man, that was swung on, gone the minute he hit it. Just barely picks up his foot, and he barreled that. I mean, that's almost a 450-foot shot out there in the fountain. Those fans thought they were going to catch that. Ball's not coming back.
Now Dyson fades back a few steps in center field, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning. Big crowd watching tonight. Over 37,000, in fact just shy of 38,000 on a blazing hot night. And it's also a milestone night for the Royals as they hit 1 million in attendance.
Nice.
It is home game number 31, and last year when the Royals set a new attendance record, they also hit 1 million in home game number 31. 1 ball and 1 strike to James McCann.
Yep. Keep it coming, fans, because believe me, your Royals respond to your energy.
And the inning continues. James McCann is 1 for 4. I don't say this to take Dylan G off the hook, but in situations like this, I always remember what Monty has told us about closers coming in a non-save situation, or in this case a reliever coming in a 10-0 game and really not getting a chance to pitch his game. Now he could pitch his game, but there's always the internal pressure of, okay, let's just get this thing over with. You know, the fans want this thing over with, his teammates want this thing over with, and the tendency of just throwing strikes and that same, you know, killer instinct isn't there like you have when the game's on the line.
I know, and you're correct, and you're just explaining the game. You know what? But after Miguel Cabrera, you know, that first pitch to him, I told you, look, think he knew that was coming? 10-0 lead. Reliever comes in, they're going to throw fastballs down the middle. They're going to try to challenge hitters. You know, and in a different situation, if he's starting, he's going to be a lot more careful. So you're right.
So in some ways, this is Dylan G just taking one for the team.
It's okay. Look, a win's a win, especially against these Tigers, whom a lot of people have overlooked. They've got 3 horses as starters and a couple of extra guys. You know, the 4th and 5th guy are like a lot of other teams, but you got Zimmerman, you got Verlander, this kid Fulmer. Those are 3 studs.
Royals have evened the series at 1 game apiece. That also assures a winning homestand. The Royals scored 9 runs in the 7th and 8th innings. They improved their home record to 23-8, still the best in the American League.
Way to set the tone, Yordano Ventura. Continue that good starting pitching, and the Royals are going to continue to see wins.
Cleveland beat Chicago tonight 3-2, so the Royals remain a half game back of the Indians in the Central. Eric Hosmer drove in 3. Salvador Perez drove in 3. So there are the updated standings. The Tigers are 2.5 back of Cleveland, 2 games behind the Royals, as Chicago drops below 500 and they are in 4th place. This was a scoreless game at the end of 5.5. It was a 1-0 game going into the bottom of the 7th inning, and when it's all said and done, the Royals win tonight by the final score of 10-3. There's Joel with Salvi and Hosmer.
Yeah, they're fighting over who's going to get the water. He said, "Don't push me like that." We'll see where it comes from. Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, and over 1 million fans. Over 1 million fans that have now come to a Royals game this year. How about this place?
Unbelievable. Thank you, fan. Thank you for the support.
What these guys want to know right now is they keep saying, where's Butera? Here comes Butera. Come on. He got nothing. What happened there?
Intelligente.
He says intelligente. Eric Hosmer is a very smart guy. Very intelligent. All right. Salvi's so happy. Let's talk about the offense breaking out tonight. And how hard was it initially against Michael Fulmer, who had gone 33 1/3, not allowing a run?
It was tough, especially first time seeing him. You know, he's a really good pitcher. He's got really good stuff, but Ace kept us in it. We found a way to put some runs up late and battled the whole game and came out with a big win.
Salvi, how about for you? You're hitting a lot of home runs. See, Salvi's more interested in the moose antlers up there right now. You had a big home run the other night, a lot of big home runs lately. What were you trying to do there on Fulmer? He had been so tough.
Try to hit the ball hard, you know, try to swing a good pitch, and that happens sometimes.
Yordano Ventura, 2 straight very good pitching performances since Baltimore. What's been the key to that turnaround, and the fans certainly appreciating that?
I think it's a little bit more concentration. He focus more in my glove, and I think that's the difference.
And then Haas, as you see the offense start to gain some steam and Fulmer comes out and, as you say, keep the line moving. How about those last couple of innings?
Yeah, they're big. You know, against this offense, you got to put up as many runs as you can. So we did a great job of adding on, getting them insurance runs, and you know, keeping Wade and those guys down in the bullpen.
6 of the 9 RBIs between 3 guys. You had 3, Morales has 3, add in another, and it's a big Royals win. You got that counted? Nice job tonight, Salvador Perez and Eric Hosmer.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Joel.
There they are, huge ovation. Let the fireworks begin.
Second round of fireworks. We had some impressive fireworks in the 7th and 8th innings tonight. And the Royals have evened the series with the Tigers. Royals are now 36 and 31. Final score 10-3. We'll be right back.